Hi everybody, this is Roger Daltrey and I'm back with another exciting unboxing video for you. First of all, I just want to say a few things. Firstly, thank you for watching the 4 Lou Reed original album classics box set videos. I really do appreciate it. His music will always live on. And secondly, thank you for watching the Peter Sallis tribute video, because that was the first time an actor's death really affected me, and I got about 10 likes for the video. I wasn't really expecting that many likes for it. And they made a decision that Aladdin, Homer and Shrek are going to carry on with Mr. Incredible as the new drummer for the cartoon character band. Because in order to be in that band, you have to come from your own movie company and do the things that you created rather than impersonating something else. And secondly, yesterday was my 19th birthday. So at least I got all that stuff out of the way. And as for a birthday present, I bought Green Day, the studio albums 1990 to 2009. Now this is a box set that came out on the 27th of August 2012, and for those that don't know, I started secondary school that day, and just about a week ago now I finished my Leaving Cert, and I'm very sorry I slept all the time through that year. I would try and do 6th year again, but then I thought, what's the point, because I'm only just going to fall asleep again. Okay, here's my review for 6th year altogether. It sucked! But anyway, here it is. Here's the back cover of the box with all the 8 albums mentioned. This box is very similar to the ZZ Top unboxing video I done last year, and in fact, tomorrow will be the first anniversary of which I recorded the ZZ Top video. So that's very cool. Anyway, without any hesitation, let's get this opened up. Green Day is one of the only kind of modern bands that I really like, and as I said before, I'm only a fan of artists that formed up to 2002, with the exception of Gaslight Anthem and Razorlight. Okay, so we'll just put the cellophane over here. And this video is dedicated to the following: Dylan O'Reilly, Jack O'Connor, and Aaron Jackson, who are part of the Green Day tribute band. So when we open the box up here, there is the 8 replicas inside here, and the sad thing is we don't get a booklet, but as always, the music speaks for itself. Now for the albums. The very first album I ever heard by them was their 7th album, because my brother had bought it, so we'll get there in a minute or two. So now what I'll just do is I'll put the box over here to the side, and here we go. So here's the very first album, 1039 Smooth Out Slappy Hours from 1990. Here's the back cover. And this is the only Green Day album not to feature Treacle as the drummer. The drummer on this album is John Kiffmeyer, almost a similar surname of the Red Hot Chili Peppers member Josh Klinghoffer, who is their current guitar player. And like some artists, their own band name can be a song title. Like for instance, there's a song on here called Green Day, because the band is called Green Day, and Bad Company have a song called Bad Company on their 1974 self-titled debut, which is absolutely my favourite Bad Company album. And now all the discs are different, so I'll just pull out one of them. So here's the very first one. It's like a clock from 1 to 12, and if it was Roman numerals, it would go from I up to XII, like 12, like the Roman numeral 12, which is also a Bartley James Harvest album, and that's one of my favourite Bartley James Harvest albums. So yeah, that's their very first album for you. Not much to see on this one, but I might like it, who knows. Then, as I said, John Kiffmeyer had left the band, and then Treacle joined as the next drummer, and next came what I consider as the first definitive Green Day album. It is Kerplunk from 1991. Here we go, there's the back. And Kerplunk was also the name of a board game that my neighbour owned, and it consists of marbles, a vase and some straws to stop them from falling, which is quite cool. The song 2000 Light Years Away is a very similar title of the Rolling Stones song 2000 Light Years From Home from the Their Satanic Majesty's Request album, and that's actually the first Rolling Stones album to have the same track listing, because their first 5 albums have a different track listing in the UK and the US, and I have the first 5. And I have those US versions of the Rolling Stones albums, their first 5, because some of my favourite Rolling Stones songs are on those and not on the UK version. And the big hit on here is Welcome to Paradise, which is a bit of a similar title of Another Day in Paradise by Phil Collins on the But Seriously album. And as for bonus tracks on here, they do a cover of My Generation from the album My Generation, which is very cool. And then here's the disc for you. Really nice label. So I might like it, who knows. So that's Kerplunk. I love the front cover too, it makes me laugh. Now we get one of the best albums ever. I love this album so much. We get Dookie by Green Day. And here's the back cover. And this album was ranked number 193 on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. I think it's behind, or 2 places behind, the Basement Tapes by Bob Dylan and the band. And the band also recorded the live album Before the Flood with Bob Dylan. And they also contributed on Bob Dylan's 1974 album Planet Waves, which is one of my favourite Bob Dylan albums. And they also did The Last Waltz before the band announced their separation after their disastrous final album Islands. Which is not really a bad album, it's just the critics didn't really like it. And this has a lot of great hits on here. We got songs like Longview and Welcome to Paradise, which is also on Kerplunk as well, because I think the band didn't like the way it turned out on the original album. And probably their biggest hit of all time, Basket Case. The song Burnout is a very similar opening to the, it's so similar to the closing part of the Ramones song I Wanna Be Sedated from the Road to Ruin album, which is their first with Marky Ramone on drums because Tommy Ramone had quit, and he actually produced Road to Ruin after being the drummer for the Ramones' first 3 albums. The song Having a Blast, the opening is so much like the Kiss song All American Man, which is on side 4 of the Kiss Live 2 album, which I like as well. I think it's as good as the first live album because of the incredible drum solo that Peter Criss does. And it also sounds a bit like 2 modern Kiss tracks, I think Hello Hallelujah and Wall of Sound from Monster. And also She was also a title of a Kiss song as well from the Dressed to Kill album. And that was when Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley recorded back in the Wicked Lester days. And on the song, I'm not sure which song it is, but I think one of these songs have Treacle on vocals and guitar. And I think on the previous one, Kerplunk, there was a song that, I think on Dominated Love Slave, it had Billy Joe Armstrong playing the drums and Treacle on vocals and guitar. He has a very cool voice. And also the song Pulling Teeth is similar title of the Metallica song Anizia Pulling Teeth from their first album Kill 'Em All, which is considered as the first like real thrash metal album according to some metal fans out there. I love the back cover as well. It sounds like the audience are playing. I'll just get the disc for you. It's pretty much the same label as the front cover. As of 2013, this album has sold 20 million copies worldwide, making this the band's best-selling album, and this would probably be my second favourite Green Day album and one of my favourite records ever of all time. If you haven't heard this, I wouldn't even say go to a Green Day compilation, I would say go straight to this record. Fantastic. So that's very cool. Next came the band's 4th studio album, Insomniac, from 1995. Then here's the back cover. This album didn't have the same sales as what is it? This didn't have the same sales as the previous one, Dookie, but this is not a bad album overall. We got some good songs in here. We got songs like Stuck With Me, which is a similar title of the Elvis Presley song Stuck With You, Geek Stink Breath, and also Walking Contradiction. The song Jaded is also a title of an Aerosmith song from the Just Push Play album, and that was the big hit on that, but of course Aerosmith's Just Push Play didn't come out till 2001, because this one of course is 1995. And there's a very satanic image on here called Brain Stew, which is a similar thing like the Rolling Stones with Goat's Head Soup, which is of course the follow-up to Exile on Main Street, and that's actually one of the better Rolling Stones albums in my opinion. And it has one of my favourite songs of all time called Angie, so that's one for me, definitely. And there's a song on here called 86, as in the number 86, and the opening is so similar to the Joy Division song Disorder, with the same riff. Actually, hold on, wait. I actually have my guitar. I might actually play it for you. Just have to take my cap off. It has the same kind of the. But of course, in a punk version. I'll just put the guitar back. Yeah, sounds so similar to it. And now I'll just get the disc for you. Very cool. Nice picture. He looks like one of the characters from Madagascar. From one of the Madagascar movies. And Madagascar is one of my favourite movies of all time. I really like it. So yeah, that's their 4th album for you. Let's just get that back into the box. And also, but before I do that, Insomniac is also is a term for which you be up all night for drinking too much coffee and you can't really sleep because you've been listening to boring artists. And Insomniac is a bit similar to saying Amnesiac by Radiohead, because they have an album called Amnesiac, and this album came out in the same year as their 1995 album, The Bends, which is another one of my favourite Radiohead albums. And also, this album came out in the same year as Oasis, What's Story Morning Glory. So we had The Bends by Radiohead, What's Story Morning Glory by Oasis, and now we've got Insomniac, which is quite cool. And we also had It's a Mystery by Bob Seger as well. So yeah, that's that album for you. Let's just put it over there. I might start a new pile because I know everything's going to fall down. I'll just put them down here just to be on the safe side, because I know they're going to fall over. Anyway, next came the band's 5th studio album, Nimrod, from 1997. The newest back cover. And this album produces a big hit on here called The Good Riddance, The Time of Your Life. And at the beginning, Billy Joe Armstrong, the lead singer, curses by saying the F word. Now, I'm just warning you all, if you buy this box set, you'll notice that there is swearing in some of these lyrics, so be on the lookout for that. Sure, I'm 19 now, so I can listen to Green Day. And that song was actually played at the DBETNS opening ceremony, which I went to for my primary education, and there was a group of past pupils who played a cover of Time of Your Life by Green Day. And it was also followed by A Day in the Life of DBETNS, not like the song A Day in the Life by the Beatles, which is from the incredible Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which has passed its 50th anniversary now, and even Rolling Stone calls it the best album ever of all time. Would I agree with that? No, but I do agree it's one of the best. And other big hits on here include Nice Guys Finish Last, which to me is such a similar opening to Bad Brain by the Ramones, which is from the same album as I Want to Be Sedated. Hitching a Ride is another good tune as well, and so is Redundant. And probably Last Ride In. And there's a song on here called Uptight, which is also a title of a Stevie Wonder song, which Phil Collins covered for his 2010 album Going Back, which is an album full of cover songs. Or now, with the deluxe editions of Phil Collins records, it's called The Essential Going Back. And they even changed the front cover of it as well. And also, Walking Alone is a similar title of the Kiss song I Walk Alone, which is from the unfinished Carnival of Souls, the Final Sessions album, which is sung by Bruce Kulick, and it's the only time he sang in the band, because Bruce Kulick didn't sing much in Kiss. And the string arranger on this album is David Campbell, who was known for being the conductor of the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra 2003 concert Kiss recorded for the Alive 4 album, and it was the first performance ever with Tommy Thayer, as Ace Frehley had quit and Peter Criss came back by then. And I know Tommy Thayer has been insulting these days because he's wearing everything, because he's imitating Ace in every way, like wearing the same clothing he wore, doing what he did in concerts, and even trying to pretend to be Ace Frehley as well. But anyway, I'll just get the disc for you now. There we go. So yeah, great album, I love it. Can't go wrong there at all. This will probably be my 3rd favourite Green Day album, with Dookie being number 2. Which one's my favourite? You have to wait and see. So now we've left the 90s behind, and now we're going to go into the band's 6th studio album. Warning. from 2000. There's the back cover. And this album was released on the same day as when Benjamin Orr from the Cars died, the 3rd of October 2000. And 4 weeks later, U2 brought out their 10th studio album, All That You Can't Leave Behind, which was considered as a comeback album for them, and it was much better than pop. And I'm one of those people who thinks it's better than pop. And that's a great album with hits like Beautiful Day and Elevation. And the hits on here include the title track Warning, Minority, and Waiting. And there's a very explicit title on here called Blood, Sex and Booze, which is a similar title of Blood, Sugar, Sex Magic by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And also there's a song on here called Misery, which is also the title of a Beatles song from the Please Please Me album. And on the song Fashion Victim, the guest vocals is by Ben Montench from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And a song on here called Church on Sunday, because everybody goes to church on Sundays, especially if they're Catholic. And Jackass was mentioned in a Shrek movie when Shrek called Donkey a stubborn jackass. And as I said, Shrek is my 3rd favourite cartoon character of all time, with number 2 being Homer Simpson, then number 1, Aladdin. Because when it comes to cartoon characters, Aladdin is the man. Only because of David Bowie, Aladdin Sane. And then in Bob Dylan Gates of Eden, with a time rusted compass blade, Aladdin and his lamp. And there's also a title on here called Hold On, which is also a song by Barclay James Harvest on the Victims of Circumstance album, which is quite cool. This was kind of when Green Day started to decline a bit, but it's not a bad album overall. I think it's quite good. The front cover is nice as well. And then here is, of course, the disc. Very cool. And now, the best Green Day album ever, in my opinion. 2004's American Idiot. I do think it's an awful picture of someone squeezing a heart. Anyway, loads of great tunes on here. The title track, American Idiot, is awesome. However, Billy Joe Armstrong again swears by saying the F word, and he also says faggot as well. Jesus of Suburbia is awesome. I love the guitar riff on Holiday. Boulevard of Broken Dreams is awesome. I love the drums on Are We the Waiting. I love St. Jimmy as well. She's a Rebel is awesome. Extraordinary Girl has a funny opening with a bum ba dum bum 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 bum. Wake Me Up When September Ends is one of those songs that makes me cry a lot, and soon in the future I'm going to be making a list of my top 10 songs that make me cry. That's definitely going to be one of them, so when I do that video, stay tuned for it. And in the medley of Homecoming, Mike Dirnt does vocals on the song Nobody Likes You, and then Treacle sings on Rock and Roll Girlfriend. And I really love What's Her Name as well. And then I'll just get the disc for you. There we go. Great album. This album was ranked number 224, I think, or 225 on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. I think it's between U2 War, or maybe Bruce Springsteen, Nebraska, or maybe just behind a Neil Diamond compilation. So yeah, love this record. Nothing bad said about this. This, Dookie and Nimrod are the 3 you want to start with first if you buy these albums singularly. And then finally, finishing off here on Green Day, here we are. This is 21st Century Breakdown from 2009. And then here's the back cover. And the song Song of the Century is the opening theme on that, and it's 1 minute, and it's 1 minute to the album. Because just like American Idiot, this is a rock opera. Like, for example, Tommy and Quadrophenia are rock operas as well, and now we have American Idiot and 21st Century Breakdown. And the song of the Century is a similar title of nearly Turn of the Century by Yes, which is from my favourite Yes album with Alan White on drums, Going for the One. Not to be confused with Alan White from Oasis, and the same with Mick Jones of The Clash and Mick Jones of Foreigner. And there's 3 acts on this album. The first act is called Heroes and Cons, and the songs are 21st Century Breakdown, Know Your Enemy, which is similar to Know Your Rights by The Clash, Viva La Gloria, almost like Viva Las Vegas by Elvis Presley, which was also in the Looney Tunes movie. I think it was Bugs Bunny that sang it, and I think there was somebody in the car, and he just took the mandolin away from him, which is very funny. Before the lobotomy, I think. I don't know how to say that bloody name. And it's also like Teenage Lobotomy by the Ramones from Rockets of Russia. Christian's Inferno and Last Night on Earth. Then the second act is called Charlatans and Saints. That's the second act. And the songs are East Jesus Nowhere, Peacemaker, Last of the American Girls, Murder City, Viva La Gloria, Little Girl, and Restless Heart Syndrome. Yikes. And then the final act is called Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, The Static Age, 21 Guns. That was a hit. American Eulogy, Mass Hysteria. Hysteria is also a Def Leppard album with hits like Photograph and Rock of Ages. Modern World and See the Light. Almost saying like, I See My Light Come Shining by Bob Dylan, and that the band covered for Music from Big Pink. And then, hang on, wait. Then here's the disc. It looks, the hat under is so similar to the to what the Cat in the Hat wore, which is quite cool. So there you go. That's the Green Day studio albums 1990-2009 box set. I hope you all enjoyed it. Green Day is one of the greatest modern bands ever of all time, and they did have later releases, which were their ninth studio album, Uno, which has a picture of Billy Joe Armstrong on it. Then it was followed by Y Dos, also in 2012, which has Mike Dirnt on the cover. And then Y Tres, which has Treacle on the cover. And then last year in 2016, they brought out Revolution Radio. And I think I forgot to mention that on the song Desensiticized, Mike Dirnt does a baseball bat, and he also does a Farfisa on the song, what song? I'm not sure which one of those, but I know he does a Farfisa on one of those songs. But anyway, highly recommended if you like good punk music. I was originally going to do the In Excess unboxing video, but because it was too expensive to get, we get them all together, and I'm not going to do the In Excess unboxing video after all. I'll just do a normal review when it comes to an In Excess video for some time in the future. And so I'll see you next time, maybe in August time, with the Electric Light Orchestra unboxing video. Remember to subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below on what you think of Green Day, and remember, and if you want, you can wish me a late happy birthday. Thank you very much. Bye bye.